The one, the only, Ben Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Just Daf It. Today we're doing Nazir Daf Nuntet, number 59. I think next week on Thursday. 1 week from today will be the last daf of Masechus Nazir. Today is a very interesting daf. If you're familiar with woke politics in America, you're going to want to hear this year. Deals pretty much to the point with woke politics, gender identity, transgender. The Gemara really talks about this right here. If you didn't know about it, I guarantee you listen to almost every other daf Yom this year. They're not going to bring this up. They're going to give you a very art scrolly type of explanation that doesn't include modern day woke politics. But with Ben Lang, you get the real truth. Let's start. Ika da Amri, the first word of Nun Teram and Aleph. Ika da Amri, Amr b'chiyah barab Amr Yochanan, Amavir beis hashach beis ha'er v'loke. Mishum lo yilbash gever simlas isha. Someone takes off pubic hair, he shaves it. We said yesterday with a razor, or with his armpit, he shaves it. A man, he violates not only yilbash gever simlas isha, he also gets malchus for it. It's a law in the Torah. Mesivei, this is an alternate explanation. We quoted Rabbi Yochanan yesterday. This is a different way to deal with it. Mesivei, Havara say our enemy the Torah when they resell from the Brisa says taking off, shaving our armpits is only midrabanan. How can you get malchus? So yesterday we answered it's malchus rabbanan. The Gemara today answers a different way. Who the Amar ki aitana? Rabbi Yochanan holds like a certain Tana. It holds you do get malchus midrash. The Tanya Amaver beis hashach beis ha'er raise over mishum lo yilbash gerasim l'sisha. The Brisa says explicitly you violate the Doraisa and you get malchus for it. The Tanakama, right, the original Brisa, Hai lo yilvash gever my darish pay. We had another yesterday. We had a Brisa which said that you would only violate it midrabanan. So what do they do with the pasuk? What is the pasuk midraisa? Lo yilvash gever something this is coming to tell you. So you need it for the following Brisa. Liya kli gever al isha. Literally, a woman shouldn't carry or wear something that is made for men. See, it's talking about weapons. My Talmud Lomar, what does that teach? If you'll tell me that a man shouldn't wear a woman's dress, a woman shouldn't dress like a man, she shouldn't wear a man's clothing. It says in the pasuk, the reason that it's usher is because it's abomination. A lot of women who are bigger sizes, they'll go to the men's section to buy clothes because it fits them better. And some men will wear women's perfume because they like how it smells better. That's not a toeva necessarily. That's not an abomination. The Torah is coming to tell you that a man shouldn't wear a woman's dress, and by doing that, go to the woman's bathroom. Associate with women, be labeled as a woman, and a woman shouldn't wear men's clothing and be labeled as a man. That's the problem. The problem is, we'll talk more about this in Eilat Ben Sion. The machlokas are the fundamental machlokas in this brisa. Two tanoim over here. The Isser Midoraisa is gender identity, right? To play women's sports, right? A man says he identifies as a woman. He plays women's sports. That's the abomination. Now, if you look at Art Scroll, Rashi on the Torah, he quotes this Gemara, and he says the reason that you can't sit among the men sitting among the women is because it's going to lead to erva, because he's going to be too close to the woman, and he's going to, be easier to get a girlfriend and have fun with her. But seemingly from the Gemara, that's not the explanation, and in light of woke politics, I think you can understand a lot better. That's one opinion. I didn't know a woman shouldn't take an Uzi or take a rifle and go to war. Right? The first half of the pasuk tells you a woman shouldn't wear the clothing or the adornments of a man. What does that mean? She shouldn't fight in the army, right? There's only 4 countries in the world that actually draft women into the army, and Israel happens to be one of them. I think the others are North Korea and Libya. I'm not sure. There's 4 countries in the world that draft women into the world. This is according to Elazar ben Yaakov, who Aleph we paskin like hold that it's not allowed. It doesn't mean you shouldn't wear women's clothing. You shouldn't go and put on makeup like a woman. So Isha shouldn't, according to the art scroll, it means he shouldn't put on makeup on himself and look like a woman. The embellishments, man should not beautify himself with the embellishments of a woman. According to footnote number 8, he may not put on makeup or shave his underarms or pubic area. Like this is, Elazar ben Yaakov is the opinion of Rabbi Yochanan over here. You get malchus for shaving an armpits or pubic hair. We'll talk more about this exact machlokas. We happen to paskin like Elazar ben Yaakov. I'll explain the machlokas in Tanakh and Elazar ben Yaakov in Ian with Ben Zion. Amar of Nachman, ben Nazir mutter. The Nachman says a Nazir who shaves his head at the end of his Naziris, he's allowed to shave, even with a razor, his pubic hair and his armpits. Because he's not really doing anything, he's just part of the ending of his Naziris. The Gemara notes, Lachas not follow like him, you're not allowed to do it. Amalei Rabbanan, the Rabbi Shimon bar Abba, the Rabbanan said the Rabbi Shimon bar Abba, Chazidin Rabbi Yochanan, the lace like, we saw Rabbi Yochanan in the mikvah. He didn't have armpit hair. Amalu Machma Zikman Nishru. He was older. They fell out because he was older. He didn't shave it. Who does Chayav Negida committed Rabbi Ami? A certain person was Chayav Malchus Midrabanan in front of Rabbi Ami. Iglai Beis Hashechi. They saw his armpits. Kazi Delom Galech. They saw that he didn't shave it. So he's not someone who didn't care about the Rabbanan. Amalu and Rabbi Ami Shavku Din Min Chayav Raya. He said, leave him. Don't give him Malchus. He's one of our group. He's someone who cares about the Rabbanans. Rabbi Chia. Rav asked Rabbi Chia, Mal Galeach. Are you allowed to shave your armpits? Amalei Asr. Like we said, it's Asr, either the Rabbanan or the Rice. Amalei V'haka Gadol. It's going to grow very excessive. I don't know what they're talking about. And most men I know don't shave their armpits, so I don't know. It's going to grow very long. Amalei Bar Pachti Zman Yeshlo. Kol Man Shehu Gadol Nosher. It has a certain amount of time. As the expiration date, once it grows a certain amount, it'll fall out. Don't worry about it. Rav asked Rabbi Chia, Mahu Lachach. Can you scratch your armpit or your pubic hair? The hair might come out. Amalei Asr. It's Asr, because it's a psikration, it'll come out. Big do mahu, can you scratch your armpit or your pubic hair with, a cloth, right? Now with your fingers. Amalei mutter. It says that's mutter. Ika the Amri, I guess, because that's not directly taking it out. Ika the Amri, ba'mine mitfila b'big do mahu, or it's not definitely going to come out with you with a baguette. Your hand is more likely to come out as a psikration. Ika the Amri, a different way of saying this teaching. Ba'mine mitfila b'big do mahu. Are you allowed to, right? You're not supposed to touch parts of your body that are covered when you're davening. What about if you scratch your pubic hair or your armpits with a cloth? Right? You're not directly touching. I'm only Asr. It's Asr. Not like him. Only if you touch with your bare hand, you touch your pubic hair, or you touch a part of your body that's covered. That's a problem. With a beged, that's not a problem. The Mishnah says, the last Mishnah we learned there was a case of two people, and a third person who was standing outside of the Alan, almost a little further away. He said there was some blood, Revius Adam, of Chatzi Lug Adam, that touched one of you, Nazir. I don't know which one of you it touched. So they're not sure. So the last Mishnah tells us how you work out the Safek, because one of them is a Nazir Tameh, one's a Nazir Tar. What about one of these people, the Safekos, before they did anything? He died, one of them. There's only one left. So you can't do this whole concoction of the last mission of bringing karbonos b'shutvas, bringing karbonos of Tara b'shutvas together, a partnership, and Tuma b'shutvas. Amr Bishur, Yeshua says, you should ask someone else, another person who's not a Nazir, she should also take a Nazir. But Omer, what should this other person say? If the person, right, is actually Tameh, right, the person who's left alive, then you, my friend, are a Nazir right away. If I really was Tor, never touched me, then you're a Nazir after 30 days. You start counting Nazirs after 30 days. They count 30 days. And we've been Korban Tumah to Korban Tara. They bear Korban Tumah and Korban Tara. If I was the one who the blood actually touched me, Korban Tumah Shali, the Korban Tumah is for me, the Korban Tara Shalcha, the Korban Tara is for you. If I was actually Tar, Korban Tara Shali, then after 30 days, this is a Korban Tara Shali. But Korban Tumah B'Safek. Now, They bring a carbon tuma. No one needs this carbon tuma over here because the other person who makes a Nazir never became tamei. So no one's tamei. However, you're allowed to bring a carbon tuma b'safek because we're not bringing a carbon asham. Carbon tuma b'safek, instead of bringing birds of a chatas and an ola and an asham, he's only bringing a chatas and an ola because the ola could be an adava and the chatas is brought al safek. It's not chulun la'azar. Asham can't be brought al safek, so therefore the asham is not brought. But that's not ma'akev, the asham. So from Shloshan, you only count 30. Mavian carbon tara. You bring a carbon tara. Omer imani tame. If I was the one who's really tame, carbon tuma shalei. The first carbon tuma was mine. The carbon tara shalcha. The first carbon tara was yours. That carbon tara. So now after 60 days, this is my carbon tara. Imani tar. If I was tar originally, carbon tara shalei. The first after 30 days, the carbon tara is mine. But carbon tuma b'saf. The carbon tuma for nobody, but it was public b'safik. It's okay. Vizel carbon tara aska. This is for your carbon tara because the Nazir pledge to take a Nazir after 30 days. To start after 30 days and to conclude after 60 days if this person was actually tar. Amar ben Zoma said, is anyone's going to listen to them? Shayidor, no one's can you connect them another. No one's going to take them to zeros. You're not going to find a place. It's not practical to find such a person. Ella maybe chatazov. What do? You don't get a partner. Ella maybe chatazov olos behema. You bring a bird, which is the chatas, and olas behema, an animal, a lamb, which is an olav. Omer im tameh hayisi. If I was tameh hachatasi mechavasi, after 30 days, right? He counts 30 days. If I was tameh, the chatas is mechavasi. The chatas off, right? That's one of the three karbanos, the carbon tuma you bring, so that's obligated. About ola nedava, the ola, which is an animal, is an adava, could be an adava. And technically that's enough to start counting again because he brought the carbon chata, that's the main one. Ve'im Torah yisi, if I was never tamei at all, ha'ola michavasi, the ola is michavasi, because now 30 days, my years is over, right? And bringing one of the three karbanos is good enough. The chatas misafek, the chatas is not a problem because chatas is ba'al safek, a bird of chatas is brought al safek, it's not a problem, it's not chulun lazar. It's over shloshim yom. And then he counts another 30 days because he might have been tamei. Maybe carbon tar, brings a carbon tar, omer im tamei ayisi. If I was tamei, ola rishon and adava. The first ola was adava zulchova. This ola again, he brings the chatas off and the ola of behema. So the first one was an adava zulchova. This is chova. Im tara yisi. If I was actually tar, ola rishon and chova. The first ola was a chova. It was part of my cleansing from an aziras. V'zun adava. And this, right, this ola, this carbon ola that I'm bringing is an adava. V'zu shar carbonic. And then he continues and he brings, along with the ola, he brings the shlamim and he brings the chatas, which is the end of concluding your naziris. Amar Rabbi Yeshua, and Yimsa said, maybe it's a problem because technically, if he really was tar, right, he brought after 30 days he brought the ola schova, and then after 60 days he completed bringing the carbon tara by bringing a shlamim and a chatas. You can't bring three carbonos in piecemeal. You can't bring it one after 30 days and two after 60 days. Nonetheless, even though Rabbi Yeshua didn't like this, didn't like Ben Zoma's suggestion, the Chacham said Ben Zoma makes a lot more sense. And where it says Velaisi, so the Gemara says we should follow Rabbi Yeshua. Usually we follow Rabbi Yeshua over Ben Zoma. Let him bring Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, meaning bring someone else to join your Naziris. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, Amar Rabbi Yeshua el Chadei b'Tz Talmidim. Rabbi Yeshua didn't really suggest what he suggested in the Mishnah, to bring another Nazir on board, another person to take a Naziris. He just wanted to sharpen the Talmidim. What should you do? He wanted the Talmidim to give Ben Zoma a solution. Amar Rav Nachman, my level Rabbi Yeshua l'daked l'lisru. It's a cryptic type of statement over here. Rav Nachman said, what do we do to Rabbi Yeshua? Because basically, he's causing his intestines to become, what do we do to Rabbi Yeshua? That his intestines shouldn't spoil. Now, some explanations say it's referring to karbonos, because according to Rabbi Yeshua's suggestion, there would be two people, an extra person, and they'd have to, the fats of the karbonos, they'd have to wait for two people to cut their hair after 60 days, and they become an intestine. The fats will become, they will rot, the fats. But I think it's just a question of Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua, don't ask too many questions, Talmidim, right? You're hurting your intestines, you're hurting your health by asking so many difficult questions. Just take the simple explanation of Ben Zoma. That's what I like to say. you don't always have to challenge the Talmidim. It's hard to think about these things, No one thinks about these weird cases. That's a simple explanation. We'll conclude today's share with that. Hope you enjoyed today's share. Stay tuned for a really important Yom Ben Sion, which you can use to speak to your friends about woke politics. Even if no connection to the Daf Yomi, you're gonna love this share. It's really fundamental machlokas, and we have a psak halacha. Who do you paskin like? I'll tell you more about that Yom Ben Sion coming up next.